Point of parliamentary procedure.
Don't mess around. They're serious this time.
Take it easy, man. I'm pre-law.
Thought you were pre-med.
What's the difference? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be brief. The issue here isn't whether we went online and voted in the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest. We did. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may happen to be tuning in. I am Bryant Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal. And you ready to go, Pete? Are we ready, Pete? It's Tuesday night, folks, and I had to wait for Pete to finish watching the Yankee game. And even though I was in a soundproof booth, I could still tell between Pete and Eric Heredia what was happening in that ball game. I guess I'm going to say congratulations, Yankee fans. Just know when you're watching this tomorrow night, it's Game 5, might be a different story. But, Pete, I'm going to tell you this before we get into our Athlete of the Week show here in Week 5. And this is coming from a Red Sox fan, honestly, honest to God. I love the Yankees this year. I like the team. There's a lot of other Red Sox fans. We like the Yankees. If they were in Red Sox uniforms, we'd really, really love them. But they're not. They're in pinstripes, so we really, really want them to lose. Other than that, Pete, I'm glad you had a good time tonight, and we're ready to get our show going. Let's get nice and formal because today is the Red Tie Athlete of the Week show. Though, Peter, if we were truly accurate and truly color fashion, we'd make it the Blue Tie show because for a second straight week, we had one school sweep. One school swept first place, boys and girls, and again in blue. And this time, Pete, which school could it be? Last week it was Southington. In week 4, if you remember, these were our nominees. We had Kelvin Cortez of Wilcox Tech Soccer, Brian Oliveira of Lyman Hall Cross Country. They kind of wear blue too. And we also had Francesco Torzulli of Platt. They kind of wear a shade of blue as well. For the girls, we had Nicole Tiezzi of Wilcox Tech Volleyball, Stephanie Phoenix of Sheehan Field Hockey, and Julia Stevens of Cheshire Swimming. By the process of elimination, Cheshire and Sheehan in red. That leaves Nicole Tiezzi, Kelvin Cortez. Wilcox Tech pulls the sweep. It's a blue tie affair. Please go excuse me while I tie on a new tie, make it blue. And you guys can check out this interview Sean Crossick did with Kelvin Cortez. Want you to know something. Today, Wilcox Tech won 6-1 down at O'Brien Tech in Ansonia. Kelvin Cortez scored 3 goals. That gives him 27 on the season. And with 27, Kelvin Cortez now holds Wilcox Tech's single-season scoring record for boys soccer. Let's hear what Kelvin had to say.
Well, it's Sean Crossick here with our male Record Journal Athlete of the Week, Wilcox Tech Jr., Kelvin Cortez. Kelvin, thanks for meeting with us today. What does it mean to you to be Athlete of the Week?
Well, it's an honor. Been Athlete of the Week last year, and being Athlete of the Week again is a great honor again.
Yeah. Tell me about the season that you've had individually.
Well, it's been a great season so far. Being undefeated. Now trying to fight our division too, trying to be champions this year, and go on from there. See how it goes.
Yeah. I keep bringing it back to, I'll get to the team soon, but 24 goals, it's pretty amazing. How do you get that many goals at this point of the season?
Well, I just try to score, I love scoring, and so I try to score as much as I want, and as I can. So, as a midfielder, it's tough to score goals, 24 goals, so not easy.
Yeah. Tell me about the team. What's made this team so good this year?
Our defense is solid. We have 3 good solid defenders. No, 4 actually. We have Eli, of course, Sean, Will, and Jesus Balbuena. So we have tough defense. Strikers, we have of course Chris Aceves, and so midfielders. We have a solid team this year, and so I like it.
Has it exceeded your expectations to be undefeated at this point of the year?
It is, because we had a lot of good players this year, and so yeah.
What are your goals for the rest of the year?
Trying to win our division, of course, and make it far as we can in conference, and let's see how it goes in the States.
Yeah. Now tell me about, you started your career as a striker, and then you moved to midfield. Tell me about that change and what that's been like for you.
Well, I was striker freshman and sophomore year, and we had good center midfielders, and as soon as the seniors left, then I had to step up to be a center midfielder. And I love passing, passing to the ball, passing it, assisting, and then scoring there too.
And do you remember how many goals you had last year and the year before?
I think I had maybe 18 last year.
How many did you have in your freshman year?
Oh, I think I had maybe 20, or maybe over 20.
You've always had the ability to score a lot of goals, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
What is it about your game?
I don't know, I just stay concentrated, and I try to score and help out the team.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. What other, do you play any other sports, or is it just soccer?
No, it's just soccer.
Yeah,
that's all I play.
yeah. What is it about the sport that you always loved?
Well, I've played it since I played as a little kid. Always, I just love to play with the ball. Just always loved it, and that will never change.
You've always kind of had a nose for the goal, though.
Yeah,
it seems.
Yeah, I did. I have.
Now you had one game you were telling me with 4 goals in the first half.
Yeah.
Any of the games this year that really stick out to you that were, or one goal that stuck out to you so far this year?
Against Bullard Havens, the game we tied against them. We had chances. They also had chances. It was an even and tough match, and so we could, and then that's what happened. Tied. You
had the game tying goal?
Yep, 2-2.
Was it late in the game you had it?
No, we were winning 2-0 at first half, and then second half they tied us. So it was kind of disappointing, but we had to take the tie, I guess.
Yeah. So you play year round, huh?
Yeah, I play all year.
Yeah, that's good. Well, this is the best goal scorer around here, Kelvin Cortez. We want to thank him again. Junior at Wilcox Tech, Record Journal Athlete of the Week.
Shawnee, thank you for that interview. Shawnee and Pete, they actually caught up with Kelvin at his home, which was cool. Kelvin came out. I like the little interview bomb. Is that the right phrase to use, Pete? The little kid came out. That was cool. Maybe that kid will be the next Kelvin Cortez and break Kelvin's records over at Wilcox Tech. Hey, big match for Wilcox Tech Thursday at Abbott Tech. That'll determine a division championship. I know this because I've been going back and forth with the coach, Joe Testa. Joe's a good guy. He's a Southington native like me. Joe's Italian, so I try to practice my Italian with Joe through emails. We email back and forth in Italian, and after a while, Joe gets, he's well-versed in Italian. He's fluent in it, and he sends me these emails, and I have to run them through a translation engine to keep up with them. So I'm not as good as Italian as you may think, Joe. But, Pete, here's something about Joe Testa I want you to know before we leave Wilcox Tech soccer for the time being. He is very much interested in putting his Italian to use for us and joining us for an Athlete of the Week show. We want to do a scene from The Godfather, the one in the restaurant where there's Salazzo and McCluskey and Michael Corleone. So we're in negotiations there, me and Joe, going back and forth, in Italian, of course. The problem is, though, that Joe wants to be Michael Corleone, and there's no way I can pull off anyone other than Michael Corleone in that scene. So I don't know. I might have to make him an offer he can't refuse. Joe, will work it out, my friend. Okay, the other winner from Week 4, as we mentioned, Wilcox Tech sweep. Nicole Tiezzi, Wilcox Tech volleyball. A lot of votes for Wilcox Tech's senior setter. Also, a lot of good stats for Nicole. The other night against Norwich Tech, she had another big game. I wrote down the stats on our magic board here. 13 kills, 12 assists. 3-2 win over Norwich Tech, which is a big rival for Wilcox Tech. They're 13-4 as they head down the home stretch. And Shawnee and Pete caught up with Nicole before that match against Norwich Tech. Let's hear what she's got to say.
I'm Sean Krofsik here with Nicole Tiezzi, Wilcox Tech. It was a sweep here this week in Athlete of the Week. And she's a senior setter here. Nicole, just your thoughts on being Athlete of the Week.
It's pretty amazing. I didn't expect it because I knew I was up against a great group of girls. Like Brian said, we're all very versatile. I'm just very grateful for it. I had a lot of support from my family, friends, and teammates, so I'm very thankful for it. So thank you for the opportunity for the nomination.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Hey, tell us about the support you got and how everyone was just giving you the best.
Yeah, my family kind of went crazy all over Facebook, saying like, go vote for Nicole, please. They're saying like she's very well deserving of it, and I'm just very grateful for them. So.
Tell me about your roles in the team as a setter.
I know like as a setter, I have to read the defense and like sort of pick out spots, and I have to decide where to set it. I know a setter's a pretty large role, and I know from the past years I had pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been a volleyball player a long time. Tell me about the long history of you playing volleyball.
I've started playing volleyball ever since I can really touch one. So it's in my family with my cousins. They went to Platt, my sisters, then my mom. So I have a big line of volleyball. Yeah.
Now you guys are 12-4 this year. What's been the strength of the team so far?
I think, well, we had a lot of tough matches, some tough losses, but the toughest were probably Abbott Tech on Friday night, and then Norwich Tech. They're our biggest competition, and they've always been, so it's really good games, and it gets us all like pumped up because we know they're a good team, so it helps us like to strive for the best.
Well, we were talking, Nate, you were telling me you play all seasons. What is it about volleyball that you enjoy?
I like the fast pace. Even this might sound kind of weird, but even though like when a hit's coming right at you, I get sort of like a rush from it because I like the reaction. Like I like being able to react fast. Yeah.
What's the most difficult part about being a setter?
Probably reading the defense.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Because I have to look at it right before the ball comes to my hands. So sometimes maybe I'll mess up a little because I'm looking at it for too long.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
That's good. So what are your expectations for the rest of the year?
I just expect us to try our best and keep going. That's all I can really ask for. But we have a really good team this year. I believe that we can go far. We have the talent for it, no injuries this year, so hoping for the best.
What do you enjoy doing off the court?
I work with special needs children and adults in the summer. I've been doing that. This will be my 9th year doing it in the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like volunteering.
That's good. What do you do to kind of get fired up and get ready for these games?
I usually put my headphones in on the bus, listen to some music, even some like High School Musical stuff. Like I just love older stuff like that. Yeah, and we all have like little pep talks. We do our little chants. Just gets us fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Anything else you just wanted to add about being the athlete of the week and anything like that?
Just thank you again. It's a real honor to be picked. So thank you to everyone who voted.
Yeah, and we want to thank Nicole for having us here at Wilcox Tech. A well-deserving athlete of the week.
Thank you.
I do have a small correction to make before we move on to our Week 5 slate of Athlete of the Week nominees. I mentioned that Nicole Tiezzi had 13 kills and 12 assists in that match against Norwich Tech. It was actually 13 digs. Defense, setting the ball, Nicole Tiezzi making it happen for the Wilcox Tech Indians. Good for you guys. All right, we're moving on. Week 5 slate, Wilcox Tech. The one downside to sweeping the polls is you're not going to get a nominee to the next week. We like to spread out the wealth. And as I look down our slate of nominees, we do have one school with 2 nominees, and there's a reason for that. Cross country was the big sport last week with the city meet, Wallingford meet. We also had this VOTEC meet on Monday, which will furnish us with some nominees for next week. Again, Wilcox Tech, you got to just hold your horses a little bit. For this week, we're going to start actually off the cross country course. I'm going to kind of shift direction on you. We're going to go over to Southington Soccer, where the Southington boys soccer team is in a nice little run. They've won 4 of their last 5 games to move into Class AA playoff contention. They got win number 4 in that little 5-game stretch. On Monday night against Avon, they won 2-1. Joe Colicino had a goal in that game. He now leads Southington with 6 goals on the season. Blue Knights are 5-5-2 as they go down the home stretch looking to get back into the Class AA playoffs. Coach Dave Yanissi runs a good program over there. And one of his guys, Joe Colicino, Athlete of the Week, nominee number 1 here in week number 5. For our next 2 boys nominees, now we go out to the cross-country course. And the first course we're going to visit is Cheshire Park. Over there on Thursday, Cheshire hosted Amity and Shelton. Those teams are big SEC rivals, double-L schools. They always have good meets. And once again, the case this year at Cheshire Park. And the big news there was Cheshire runner Brendan Murray, good 4-year runner. He's been doing very well since his freshman season. He closed his senior year on his home course breaking the course record there. And break is actually not the verb that actually fits the bill. Shattered is more likely, crushed, smashed, blew out of the water. He ran a 15:23, which eclipsed by almost a half minute, or about a half minute, the old record of Sean Mueller's that had stood since 2009. Now, I do have the numbers on my magic dry erase board. Problem is, Pete, God love him, he sets up these big lights here, and it's like the sun. So I'm staring into the sun right now, but because I am so committed to the truth, I'm going to risk my vision further to tell you that Sean Mueller's record was 15:52. He set that in 2009. Brendan Murray, he ran a 15:23. Fantastic. Brendan will be among the leading contenders at the SEC Championship meet on Thursday down at Eastside Park in New Haven. And Pete, you're going to be there with Sean. Are you aware of that? Beautiful. He's adding it to his calendar as we speak. Okay, we're staying on the cross-country course. We're coming here into Meriden, to Hubbard Park, where all three Meriden teams run, and they all ran against each other last Tuesday. And this time around, it was a sweep for Maloney. They were led by boys nominee number 3, Dominic Oliveri. There he is, and we're going to see right into the girls. The winner was freshman Morgan Kicklighter. Pete, I don't know about you, but I love that girl's name, Kicklighter. It's a perfect name for a runner. Absolutely perfect. Homer Bailey for baseball, Bronco Nagurski or Dick Butkus for football, Morgan Kicklighter. Only a freshman. She won the city meet this year, along with teammate Dominic Oliveri, a sophomore. Well done. Derek DiStefano, a former Platte runner, now running the show over at Maloney. They swept the city meet this year. Good for the Spartans. They are the team with 2 nominees this week. Perhaps, Pete, for a 3rd week in a row, we will have a school sweep both boys and girls. We'll see. Sheehan, Lyman Hall, Southington, Cheshire, you've got some athletes in the mix too, so you're going to want to hit myrecordjournal.com to vote. Pete, I think now's a good time to put the address there. Can I hold it in my hands? It's my favorite part of the show. I don't do much weightlifting. A couple curls with those. That's where you go and vote. I know it's not always the easiest process in the world, but think of the kids. They give it their all. Go the extra mile for them. Pun intended, this being cross-country weekend. Do what you can to support those kids. Okay, we gave you the cross-country nominees. We have 2 nominees left to go. I let it slip that one is from Lyman Hall and one is from Sheehan. They're 2 girls, and they both are volleyball players. Both teams looking to get into the postseason. Sheehan's already there. They got in last week with a win over Shelton. They are currently 8-8. A big player for them this year, senior captain, Sydney Hunt. Get her picture up there. Sydney Hunt is putting up some big numbers for Sheehan this year. I'm going to go back to my magic dry erase board because she's having a great run. 5 matches that helped get Sheehan into the playoffs. She had 51 kills, 18 aces for the season. She now has 153 kills and 62 aces. Pete, those are big numbers, man. Good for you, Sydney Hunt. You are girls nominee number 2 here in week 5. That leaves Lyman Hall. Now, Lyman Hall is 7-12, and anybody who follows high school sports knows that Lyman Hall, they got to win out. They have to win out to get in the playoffs. We're pulling for the Trojans to do it. And if some players are going to lead the way, a girl like Nicole Albert, nominee number 3, she's going to be one of those kids. Big number she put up last week. She's got some good players around her, girls like Avery LaChance. But I'll tell you, Nicole's numbers last week just could not be ignored. I'm going to go to my dry erase board again because I want to get this right. She had a huge match against Shelton with 25 assists and 20 digs. That's a serious double-double. In fact, Pete, that would be a double-double-double since she's in the 20s, right? She followed that up with 17 assists and 11 aces against Hillhouse. And then she had 15 assists and 8 digs against Wilbur Cross. Nicole and the Trojans on the verge of getting in the postseason, but they cannot slip up. Don't slip up, Nicole. Not now. Get there. Get over the line. Get in the postseason because it's coming up fast, and we're looking forward to covering as many teams as we can. Okay, there are our nominees for Week 5. Please, the voting polls are now open as soon as you see this live on Wednesday. I know Pete's going to be watching the Yankees right now, but I'll be making sure he puts it up so you guys can go online and vote from now through Sunday at midnight for this week's list of Athlete of the Week nominees. And remember, anybody who is selected for Athlete of the Week, anybody nominated, will be invited to our Best of the Bunch Awards Brunch, June 24th at the AquaTurf. Our guest speaker, Jim Calhoun. Jim's going to be there. So far, we've got 30 Athlete of the Week nominees. There's a whole mess more coming. We're going to have scholar athletes for all 3 seasons. Coaches, you should just have received your nomination forms, sent them out today to the athletic directors. We want kids who best exemplify student athlete. Good grades, great contributions on the field, extracurriculars, good character. Those are the kids we were looking for. Also, coaches, we're going to be soliciting your opinion for our all-record journal teams in soccer and volleyball very soon. Football will be a little bit later. I know Sean and Kenny, Ken Lipschitz and Sean Krofsek are out keeping very copious notes on who our selections might be. But coaches, we also want to get some input from you. So you'll be hearing from us. And on that note, I'm going to take my leave of you folks. Bryant Carpenter, sports editor of the Record Journal. Thank you very much for tuning into Week 5, the red tie affair, though it really should be a blue tie affair, edition of the Athletes of the Week. Yankees, we like you, but only so far.